there, it's Victor, give me a flake man. A few months ago, January, I did a video about a guy who claimed that the detention center here in Japan was a Gaijin Gulag. And anyway, I called him out on his shit, and 9 months later, he was able to successfully get YouTube to ban my video in Canada, which is kind of funny, but I will put a link to that video in the description below. Of course, if you're in Canada, you won't be able to see it. It's not a big deal, but as a result of that video, the article that I suppose, questioning, or you could say attacking, whatever you like, he claims I was harassing him on a video. I don't know how you can harass somebody with one video, but I think, what did he say? I was harassing and bullying and defaming him by just questioning him, but whatever. You would think a journalist would have a little thicker skin, but I guess not. Anyway, as a result of his blog, it kind of makes me think that anyone who bitches or complains about the detention center or getting kicked out of Japan and starts, criticizing immigration, is not to be believed, which of course is not true, because there are actual cases of people who legitimately are getting screwed over. And there was a case of, I think, a Kenyan guy who died a couple of years ago. But anyway, yeah, the police, they make mistakes, of course. They're not sinless here. They're not all good. Anyway, get on to it. So today, Michael Q. Todd is a Twitter mentor. You may have seen him. He's got bright green neon hair. And he's a very nice guy. I've talked to him a couple times. I'm not saying we're friends or anything, but we've interacted. He's been helpful. He's offered help a couple times. Seems like a very friendly guy. He's got about 53,000 Twitter followers. And apparently, I didn't know this, but he speaks Japanese well enough that he can translate. And he was down in Taiji helping some documentary film company translate as they worked on they were documenting how the fishermen down in Taiji regularly harvest dolphins. Now, a lot of people are against that. A lot of people think that foreigners shouldn't get involved in that. But one thing that is true, the people who do these films, these documentaries, often break the law or trespass onto land where they are not supposed to be. And, of course, the locals complain to the police. And apparently, I don't know all the details, but one of the policemen asked Michael Q. Todd, it's kind of a cool name, Michael Q. Todd, for his passport, and he apparently had been overstaying his visa, so he's in a detention center now. I think he went in the 18th, so he's going to be there for about 10 days, which means today's the 25th in Japan, so 3-4 more days, which is a damn shame. According to the article, he met his love of his life here, and now they're trying to raise money for him to get him a lawyer, which as soon as you see people saying, we got to raise money to get him a lawyer, then, you start, the cynic in me starts thinking, what's that going to do, And, they were, the things in the initial article were like, what are these fundraising sites were like, well, we don't know what country is going to end up, but, you get sent back to your own country. You don't really have much of a choice. And if you don't have money, they charge you, right? About deportation and such, I recently, or a couple months ago, had a friend here in Japan, a guy I've met in real life, and he was on YouTube as well. And he recently was considering overstaying his visa because he had basically run out of money. And I successfully, luckily, was able to convince him not to overstay his visa and just get the hell out of the country. Now, he told me that according to the U.S. Embassy, and he, this is all third hand. I've never had to ask these questions, but once you overstay your visa, you can't come back to Japan for 10 years. But according to this article, it's only 5 years. And if it's a second, if you're a repeat offender, it's 7 years. But who knows? I don't know. Maybe it depends on the country, such. And of course, if you have kids or a spouse here, it's different. Now, like I said, or did I say this guy apparently met the love of his life here? So, in cases like that, she should go to New Zealand, where he's from, and stay with him there, unless she's married already with somebody else. I mean, I don't know, what's keeping her here? Kids, maybe, who knows? I don't know, I'm just talking about out of my butt right now. But, yeah, so it's a damn shame what happened here. But I'm just making a little video about news, JNEWS, what's happening in the Gaijin community. And, just to say, hey, man, I'm sorry to hear, Michael Q. Todd, that you got kicked out of the country. I hope you can come back in 5 years. It's not that long, 5 years. It may seem long, and I'm sure you can get a lot of work done in wherever you are. But yeah, I kind of question people raising money on his behalf And I also wonder how he's continuing to tweet unless it's automated, because apparently he's been tweeting every few hours or so. And I tweeted to him to try to get an answer, but nothing. So maybe it's an automation, or maybe someone has taken over his account on his behalf. And apparently you can't get lawyers when you're in detention, so it seems like a pretty shitty deal. I do hope that he talks about it somehow when he gets out, because I will find his story much more reliable than the previous story, the Gaijin Gulag article. So best of luck to him. Links in the description to the Japan Probe article. Interesting little side note: the Nepalese guy who was acquitted of. Finally, what happened? He was first arrested and convicted of murder. Then later, I think they overturned that conviction, and he was released. And before they could retry him, which it looked like they might do, they decided to deport him. So actually, in his case, I think he was damn glad to get deported. Because he got to go back to Nepal. So not always bad. So yeah, I'll keep my eyes on this story and we'll see what happens. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.